Most people assume the answer is obvious. Your bed is soft. Your blankets are warm. Your dog likes being comfortable. End of story. But here's the truth that changes everything. If comfort was all your dog wanted, he has options. The couch in the living room. The dog bed you bought him that he barely uses. That one sunny spot by the window in the afternoon. Your dog is not short on comfortable places to sleep. And if this is already making you see your dog differently, tap that like button and subscribe. This channel is for people who actually want to understand what their dogs have been trying to say all along. Now let's go deeper. So why does he walk past every single one of those options, every single night, just to sleep next to you? Because this was never about temperature or cushioning. This is about something written into his DNA thousands of years before he was born. Your dog is a direct descendant of wolves, not a distant cousin, not a loose relative. A direct genetic line that stretches back to pack animals who survived because they understood one fundamental truth. Sleep is when you are most vulnerable. In the wild, the wolves who slept alone didn't last. The wolves who slept together, bodies pressed close, watching over each other through the night. Those were the ones who survived long enough to pass on their genes. That instinct didn't disappear when wolves became dogs. It didn't fade when dogs moved into houses with central heating and memory foam mattresses. It's still there. Every night, when your dog climbs into bed with you, he's not thinking about thread count. He's running ancient software that says, "This is my pack. This is where I belong. This is how we survive." And here's where it gets even more meaningful. In a wolf pack, where each member sleeps, communicates hierarchy, trust, and emotional bonds. The wolves who sleep closest to each other are the ones with the deepest connections. When your dog chooses to sleep pressed against you, he's placing you at the center of his entire social world. He's saying with his body what he cannot say with words. You are my pack. You are my safety. You are the one I trust with my most vulnerable hours. Most owners spend years receiving this message without ever understanding it. They see a dog hogging the blankets. They see a pet who doesn't like being alone. They miss the profound declaration happening right in front of them, night after night after night. But here's something important, and I need you to remember this. If your dog has been sleeping with you for months or years, and that suddenly stops, something is happening. Something you cannot afford to ignore. We'll get to what that means at the end, and I promise you, it's something most dog owners wish they had understood much sooner. For now, just know this. That nightly ritual is not random. It's not simple. It's one of the oldest forms of loyalty still being spoken. There's something most dog owners never stop to consider. Your dog has access to every room in the house. He knows where every comfortable spot is. He's explored every corner, every rug, every patch of sunlight that moves across the floor throughout the day. He has mapped your entire home in his mind. And yet, when night comes, he doesn't choose a location. He chooses a person. That distinction matters more than you realize. In the world your dog's ancestors came from, sleeping arrangements were never random. Where each wolf slept within the pack communicated something specific. It told the story of bonds, of trust, of who held importance and who had earned closeness. The wolves who slept near the edges were watchful, guarding. The wolves who slept in the center, near the pack leaders, were the ones expressing the deepest form of connection and loyalty. Your dog carries this ancient understanding in his bones. When he jumps onto your bed and settles beside you, he's not just finding a place to rest. He's making a statement about who you are to him. He's placing you at the center of his pack. He's saying, without a single sound, that you are the figure his entire world revolves around. This is not submission in the way people sometimes misunderstand it. Your dog is not beneath you. He's not lowering himself. What he's doing is far more meaningful. He's choosing you, actively, repeatedly, every single night. He's declaring that out of every option available to him, out of every space he could occupy, he wants to be next to you. Think about that for a moment. You live in a house with multiple rooms, maybe a backyard, maybe other family members, maybe other pets. Your dog has freedom. He has choices. And every night, he makes the same choice. He crosses the house, climbs the stairs if he has to, pushes through doors if they're not fully closed, and finds his way to wherever you are. That's not habit, that's devotion in action. Researchers who study canine behavior have observed that dogs form their strongest attachments to the person they perceive as the center of the household structure. It doesn't always mean the person who feeds them or walks them the most. It means the person whose presence makes them feel most secure, most settled, most at peace. When your dog chooses to sleep with you specifically, he's revealing something about how he sees you. You are his anchor, his constant, his home within the home. And here's what makes this even more powerful. He makes this choice when he's about to enter his most vulnerable state. He's about to close his eyes, lower his guard, and let go of awareness. And the place he chooses to do that is right beside you. He's not just saying you're his leader. He's saying you're the one he trusts with his life, every single night, without hesitation. That kind of trust isn't given, it's earned. And it's being reaffirmed every time he lies down next to you. You've seen your dog sleep in dozens of different positions, curled into a tight ball, stretched out across the entire bed, pressed so close to you that you can barely move, lying at your feet like a sentinel. You probably never thought much about it. You assumed it was random, just whatever felt comfortable in the moment. But here's what most owners never realize. Every single position means something. Your dog has been speaking to you in a language made of posture, placement, and proximity. And every night, you've been receiving messages you didn't know how to read. Let's start with the tight curl. When your dog sleeps rolled into a ball, nose tucked under tail, paws hidden beneath his body, he's assuming the most protective position possible. Every vital organ is shielded. Every vulnerable part is concealed. This is the position wolves use when they sleep in uncertain environments, when they're not entirely sure they can let their guard down. If your dog always sleeps like this, even next to you, it might mean he feels safe enough to be near you, but not quite safe enough to fully release. There's still a layer of caution, still a part of him watching, waiting, protecting himself just in case. Now consider the opposite, the full sprawl, legs stretched in every direction, belly completely exposed, maybe even lying on his back with his paws in the air. This is the most vulnerable position a dog can assume. His stomach, his throat, his softest parts are all open and unguarded. A dog who sleeps like this beside you is making an extraordinary statement. He believes, with absolute certainty, that nothing bad will happen to him in your presence. He's abandoned every protective instinct. He's surrendered completely to the safety you provide. What about when your dog sleeps pressed directly against you, pushing his body into yours, sometimes wedging himself into spaces that seem too small? That's not clinginess. That's contact seeking at its deepest level. Your dog is saying that proximity alone isn't enough. He needs to feel you. He needs the reassurance of your warmth, your heartbeat, your presence confirmed through physical touch. For him, zero distance is the only acceptable distance. And then there's the dog who sleeps at your feet or positioned between you and the bedroom door. Watch carefully. This is guardian placement. He's not just sleeping near you. He's sleeping in a strategic position, putting himself between you and any potential threat that might come through that entrance. He's assigned himself a role. He's standing post. In his mind, he's your protector. And he takes that duty seriously, even while unconscious. Every night, your dog arranges himself with intention. Every position is a sentence. Every shift in placement is a word. He's been communicating his emotional state, his level of trust, his perception of his role in your life. The question is whether you've been paying attention. Because once you learn to read this language, you'll never look at your sleeping dog the same way again. Here's something that might surprise you. Your dog's body was not designed to sleep when you sleep. Dogs are not naturally wired to follow human schedules. Their ancestors were crepuscular, meaning they were most active during dawn and dusk, those in-between hours when hunting was most effective and survival demanded alertness. Biologically, your dog should be wide awake when you're winding down for the night. He should be restless when you're ready to rest. His internal clock and yours were never meant to align, and yet somehow they do. This is not an accident. This is not coincidence. This is your dog actively rewriting his own biology because being in sync with you matters more than following his instincts. Researchers studying domestic dogs have discovered something remarkable. Dogs who live in close bonds with their owners gradually shift their entire sleep-wake cycle to mirror the humans they love. They start staying awake longer during the day, even when their bodies are telling them to nap. They begin sleeping more deeply at night, even though their natural programming says they should be alert. They override thousands of years of evolutionary coding, not because they have to, but because they want to maximize every possible moment of existing in your world. Think about what that really means. Your dog has an internal system that tells him when to be awake and when to rest. That system was built over countless generations, refined by survival, hardwired into his very cells. And he dismantles it, piece by piece, just so his rhythm matches yours. Just so he's awake when you're available. Just so he's tired when you're ready for bed. Just so that nightly moment of climbing under the covers together can happen at exactly the same time. This is also why your dog seems to know your schedule better than you do. Why he appears at the door minutes before you arrive home. Why he starts getting restless right before your alarm goes off in the morning. He hasn't just learned your patterns, he's internalized them. He's rebuilt his entire internal clock around the structure of your life. And every night, when he settles into bed beside you, that synchronization reaches its peak. He's not just sleeping when you sleep. He's entering rest because you're entering rest. His body has learned to treat your rhythms as his own. Your exhale becomes his cue to relax. Your stillness becomes his permission to let go. Most owners look at their dog sleeping beside them and see a pet who got tired at the right time. They don't see the invisible rewiring that happened beneath the surface. They don't realize that their dog fundamentally changed who he is, biologically, just to spend more time sharing the same moments. Your dog didn't just adapt to your home, he adapted to you, your schedule, your presence, your life. And he did it willingly, silently, without ever asking for recognition. He just wanted to be wherever you are, whenever you're there. You come home after one of those days, the kind that sits heavy in your chest. Maybe it was a difficult conversation at work. Maybe it was news you weren't prepared to hear. Maybe it's nothing you can even name, just a weight that followed you through the door and won't let go. You don't say anything, you don't cry, you don't even change your expression, but somehow your dog knows. He's at your side before you reach the couch. He's pressing closer than usual. He's not asking to play. He's not bringing you a toy. He's just there, steady, warm, refusing to leave. This is not coincidence. This is not projection. Your dog genuinely knows when something is wrong with you, often before you fully admitted it to yourself. Dogs are masters of reading the humans they love. They don't need words. They don't need explanations. They detect shifts so subtle that you're not even aware you're making them. The slight change in your breathing pattern when you're anxious. The tension in your shoulders when you're stressed. The way your footsteps sound different when you're carrying grief. Your dog notices all of it. But it goes even deeper than behavior. Research has shown that dogs can actually smell emotional changes in the human body. When you're stressed, your system releases cortisol. When you're afraid, your body chemistry shifts. These changes produce scent signatures that are invisible to you but unmistakable to your dog. He's not guessing that you're upset. He's detecting it with a sensory system far more powerful than anything you possess. And here's where sleeping beside you becomes something more than companionship. At night, your dog has uninterrupted access to your emotional state, your breathing patterns, your heart rate, your restlessness or stillness. Hour after hour, he lies beside you, gathering information, learning your baseline, understanding what your peace feels like so he can recognize when it's disturbed. This is why dogs often become more attentive during difficult seasons of their owner's life. Illness, grief, anxiety, depression. Your dog doesn't understand the details. He doesn't know why you're hurting, but he knows that you are, and something deep in his wiring tells him that his job is to stay close, to offer presence, to be the steady warmth beside you when everything else feels uncertain. He's not just sleeping next to you. He's monitoring you, guarding your emotional state the same way he would guard your physical safety. When you wake up in the middle of the night, heart pounding from a bad dream, he's already awake, already looking at you, already pressing his nose against your hand as if to say, "I'm here. I noticed. You're not alone." Most people think they comfort their dogs, and you do. But what you might not realize is how often that comfort flows the other direction. How many nights your dog has watched over you while you slept, sensing something you never spoke, standing silent guard over wounds you didn't even know were visible. I told you at the beginning that there was something important we needed to talk about. Something most dog owners don't understand until it's too late. Now it's time. If your dog has been sleeping beside you for months, maybe years, and that suddenly changes, do not brush it off. Do not assume he just found a cooler spot on the floor. Do not tell yourself it's nothing. When a dog breaks a pattern this significant, he's trying to tell you something he cannot say any other way. Dogs are creatures of profound habit. They thrive on routine. They find security in repetition. The dog who has claimed his spot beside you, night after night, has made that spot part of his identity. It's not just where he sleeps, it's where he belongs. For him to suddenly abandon that place means something has shifted, and it's your job to figure out what. Sometimes the reason is physical. Dogs age in silence. They don't complain about joint pain. They don't announce that their hips ache or their back hurts when they try to jump onto the bed. They just stop doing it. If your older dog has started sleeping on the floor instead of beside you, his body might be telling him something he can't override anymore. A vet visit isn't overreacting, it's listening. Sometimes the reason is environmental. A new person in the home, a new pet, a change in your work schedule that disrupted the rhythm he had learned so carefully. Dogs are sensitive to shifts in their territory in ways that humans often underestimate. Something that seems small to you, a rearranged room, a different bedtime, a new sound at night, can feel massive to a dog whose entire sense of security was built on consistency. And sometimes the reason is emotional. Dogs remember. If something startled him in the bedroom, if there was conflict in that space, if something happened that created a negative association, he might pull away to protect himself. It's not stubbornness, it's survival. He's removing himself from a place that no longer feels safe, even if you don't understand why. The key is paying attention. Your dog chose to sleep with you because you represented safety, trust, and pack. If that changes, he's not being moody. He's not punishing you. He's communicating the only way he knows how. Something is different, something is wrong, and he needs you to notice. So watch for the shift. And if it comes, don't ignore it. Don't wait for it to resolve itself. Step into the gap. Figure out what changed. Help him find his way back to feeling safe again, whether that means a vet visit, a new way to help him onto the bed, or simply more patience as he adjusts to whatever disrupted his world. Because that nightly ritual, that simple act of lying down beside you, was never small. Not to him. Every night he showed up and took his place, he was saying something profound. You are my person. This is where I belong. This is home. Don't let that message go unanswered.